Doing a little freestyle format this Thursday. I really just generally don't. I have a plethora of topics, of course, but I don't have anything just primarily set up. Sporting news on my end is slow. Of course, there's a whole lot of basketball going on as far as like the play-ins for NBA and things of that nature. I do not follow basketball as closely as I should. However, I do know that the Mavericks have a play-in game. I think with the Grizzlies. Is it tonight or tomorrow night? I think it's tonight. So hopefully, a severely crippled Mavericks team is somehow able to defeat the Grizzlies and go on, but there is no shame or blame for them if they don't quite make it. I think that it's okay. I think that Kyrie being out, and then of course, oh jeez, of course the situation with Luca was really devastating for the team. I still maintain my stance on this new ownership actually sabotaging the team and wanting to send them back to Vegas because these people are former casino owners. And if they detach the team from the city of Dallas, it makes the process a lot easier. And if you get the value down on the team, the moving process is a lot more quote unquote affordable. So I mean, it's a pretty easy plan to read, to be quite honest with you. So a special you to the management for the for the new ownership for the Mavericks. It's not just Nico. Nico does have a hand in this, but let's not forget about that new ownership, y'all, because they effed us over too. Um, in more positive news, um, I just submitted an article for the Punch Junkie magazine, which is the first black owned boxing publication in circulation today. Shout outs to Junior the Truth, who actually created that particular magazine and giving people like me a voice when otherwise I wouldn't have one in boxing. So, a special thank you. Hey, how you doing? A special thank you to him for that. Hello. Um, Now, since we're actually on the subject of boxing, there is a. Oh, I'm pretty good. How are you doing? Um, but yeah, while we're on the subject of boxing, there is, I believe, is the card. Yeah, the Eubanks Ben card is actually this weekend, I believe. Um, the it should make for an on paper it should make for an interesting. Hey, coach, how's it going, brother? Thank you so much for stopping by, man. It really does my heart good. Thank you so much. Um, it, so with the with the latest edition of the Ben family versus the Eubanks family, um, it has not ceased to be entertaining. The back and forth with Connor Ben and then Chris Eubank Jr. Has been nothing short of hilarious. Um, not, Connor has recently called out Chris Eubanks, stating that his father doesn't love him and that he should stop crying. Which, I mean, of course, that resulted in like a little kerfuffle or whatnot. But I mean, it's tragic. But sometimes some of the funniest things come from tragedy. Um, also, you at school now? Okay. Can I guess your name? Um, yeah, I might not be able to guess the name. Hey, Jared, how's it going, brother? Thank you so much for stopping by, man. And Henderson, T. Henderson, man. hopefully things go well for you at class. Um, and hopefully, you get whatever you need accomplished out of that particular class as well. So all the best to you, T. Henderson. And yeah, unfortunately, nah, I wouldn't be able to guess your name. And plus, I don't want to, I don't want to get that wrong anyway. Um, yeah. Well, yeah, with the Connor Ben Chris Eubanks back and forth, that has been nothing short of quality entertainment, if I do say so myself. Usually, I'm not one to indulge in the messiness or the back and forth in between people, but for whatever reason, this has actually been entertaining. And then, of course, boxing being the backdrop of all of this has has really made it really, really intriguing. Now, on paper, what I will say is that Chris Eubank Jr. should actually win this fight. I'm not gonna say pretty easily, but I just think that with Eubanks is if utilized properly. Let me rephrase that. If utilized properly, um, Chris Eubank Jr.'s size and speed should be able to deter Conor Ben from executing what he wants to do. Conor Ben is he's a fundamentally sound boxer, but he does a lot of coming in forward, and sometimes he'll come weight cut actually goes, because that's a huge factor too. Depending on how this weight cut actually goes for Eubank Jr., if he is able to maintain, if he's able to maintain any, I'm not going to say any, if he's able to maintain most of his power, it'll be enough to try to keep Connor being honest. So with that being said, he would probably Connor Ben would probably need to be on his P's and Q's. I think that if Connor Ben were to actually win this fight, he would need to be able to stay with his fundamentals, regardless of what antics Chris Eubank Jr. has going on. Um, I think that if he is defensively responsible, it is very important for Conor Ben. If he's defensively responsible and is able to work on Chris Eubank on the inside, really that is his best chance to win. If he is able to attack Chris Eubank's body effectively, okay, and that's important. So the punch placement has to be there. Conor Ben does have good punch placement. Sometimes he can be a little overzealous, and that could make him a little sloppy. But I think because he's fundamentally sound, he should be able to slip jabs, get in, and then kind of just work the body if if his fight plan is successful. I But if he decides that he wants to go in and just try to have a slugfest with Chris Eubank Jr., he's getting knocked out. Uh, Point blank, bottom line. Chris Eubank has very good hand speed, and he's retained most of that, even though he's technically an older fighter. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is now in his 30s. Um, but I think that his if Chris Eubank is able to effectively keep Conor Ben at a distance, and then if he's able to set traps for Ben, leading him into vicious body hooks and then uppercuts, I think that would be the most effective way for Chris Eubank to actually knock out Conor Ben. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. But But yeah, I just think that if Chris Eubank utilizes the tools that he naturally has and has actually built with skill over time, he'd be able to knock Connor Ben out, to be quite honest with you. And I think that it wouldn't be I don't think that it would actually take that long if the weight cut is right. If Chris Eubank utilizes his tools like he should, then yes, he should probably win that fight by knockout. Um, Conor Ben, again, if he is fundamentally sound and is able to get inside of Chris Eubank Jr. and just unload on his body initially, then I think that he could probably win on points or, in a best case scenario, a late stoppage. And what I mean by late stoppage is uh, if it's like a 10, if it's a 10 round fight, I'd probably say rounds 8 or 9. No, I'm sorry, it would be round 7 or 8. Um, so yeah, I think that maybe a late stoppage would happen in the best case scenario for Conor Ben. But objectively, if I'm looking at it, I think Chris Eubank should actually win by a mid fight knockout, which would probably wind up being maybe like in maybe fifth or sixth round is what initially comes to my mind. But I think that it would be an entertaining fight for as long as it lasts, to be honest. And then when I say things like that, it's completely one-sided and somebody just gets beat up the whole fight. So, that could happen too. But I do think that Chris Eubanks actually does win that particular fight. I just, oh man, yeah, it's gonna be exciting. You're right. um, shouts out to shouts out to the egg slap. That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was pretty good, man. I actually enjoyed that. Again, I don't really partake in like the reality TV or trash TV type back and forth and stuff like that. But since boxing is the main backdrop of this, and then of course knowing the family history and rivalry behind it all, it makes it that much more entertaining. So, I think they got this one right. And I'm not sure what time it's going to be on Saturday for the zone. Usually, if it's like a UK card, then they come on usually around, they start around probably like somewhere around noon Central Standard Time, or possibly uh, the main card will probably start around maybe what, 2 p.m. Central Standard on the zone. So I'd probably look for that. The main event usually comes on with the UK cards. Usually the main event comes on around like 5 p.m., something like that. But looking forward to it nonetheless. I do not know who is on the undercard, but I'm definitely there for the main event. All right, so moving right along. I am going to a topic I really hate talking about, and if you guys are here for a rant, here we go. Without further ado. So, Aaron Rodgers has recently gone on to the Pat McAfee show. Again, being a conveniently mysterious douchebag. Okay, that's what I'm gonna call it. He's being a conveniently he's being a conveniently mysterious douchebag. Um, he made no mention of any intentions to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He again somehow avoided that, and then he only really wanted to talk about what happened with him and the Jets, and just his outlook on football in general, and just, oh, well, I don't know whether or not I'm gonna retire, or that's just kind of up in the air, and we'll just have to see what the universe said. Man, look, I need my Pittsburgh Steelers to put their foot down on this particular issue. I am so sick of this bull. I can't. Oh man, I really can't. Um, at what point, Mr. Rooney? At what point, Omar Khan? At what point, Coach Tomlin? Do you look at this man who clearly hasn't talked to y'all? Like this man haven't talked to y'all, or I guess y'all are pretty good at keeping secrets. I don't know. Um, but it appears as though, let me rephrase that. It appears as though that this man has had no communication with you all in regards to what decision he's going to make. Okay? It is time to move the blank on. It Draft day is next week. It's literally next week. Okay? We need to come up with a draft strategy for this team that we actually have right now. We can't be worried about, again, a conveniently mysterious douchebag signing or not. Either he's gonna do it or he's not gonna. You know what? I'm gonna let it go. Either he's gonna do it or he's not gonna fucking do it. Like, are you gonna sign or what? I'm really getting sick of this shit. Like, honestly. So, you know, irregardless to irregardless to maybe how the the team wants to maybe look at it objectively and take the emotions out or whatever the case may be. Um, at some point, at some point, you have to decide that enough is enough and move on. Just move on, y'all. If he hasn't signed by now, he probably not gonna sign, to be quite honest. And I don't know why we keep holding the door open for him. Yes, he's a future Hall of Famer. Yes, he still has the best arm talent in the NFL. Okay? But if you're doing pros and cons, think of it this way. A major con is with not one but two organizations, because remember, late in Green Bay, he was a fucking problem. He was definitely a fucking problem late in Green Bay. I don't know why people don't consider why Jordan Love was actually drafted if things were so great with Aaron. Okay? So he was a douchebag about that. Um, yes, Aaron Rodgers is a highly intelligent individual. Okay? But that doesn't actually stop him from being manipulative and being self-centered, and then also, just thinking that things should revolve around, what he has to actually offer. Um, and I know that the Steelers organization is intelligent enough to know that. All right. So again, we need to just go ahead and move on. Now, what I will say about the draft is this: we do not need to draft any of these damn quarterbacks, and that includes Shedeur Sanders. I am so sorry, Shedeur. I really do support you. I appreciate you for what you did at Colorado for the 2 years that you were there. Um, but it's more of a system fit thing. I just don't think that he would do well in the system that we actually have set up. We have two deep ball receivers. I have to say pause nowadays because people just, yeah, I don't understand that. So we have two deep ball receivers, and then, we have Calvin Austin who can be able to be a good intermittent receiver, but he's also a deep threat with his speed as well. Shedeur Sanders does not have a great deep ball right now. He is able, however, to process defenses very quickly, which is going to be a great asset when he gets to the NFL. And whomever team he actually plays for, they're going to really benefit off that. It's going to be less chalk talk. I'm old school. So it's going to be less chalk talk or whiteboard speak or whatever you want to call it now. Or tablet. I don't know. Or shit. Tablet scribbling or whatever you want to call it. Um, you you just have less time to actually just go over, processing reads and all of that stuff. Shador, I believe, will probably get that down very quickly. I just don't think. Well, it's been shown, not that I just don't think. It has been shown that Shador Sanders just does not have a strong enough arm to beat NFL defenses. There have been several occasions at Chicago. I said at Chicago, Colorado, where he has thrown a deep ball, and there have been quite a few occasions where the receivers had to turn around and catch the ball, or turn around and wait on the ball to catch it, or in um, in some cases they slow down in order to actually just kind of pace themselves with the ball. In the NFL, things move very, very fast. And if you are not able to get the ball from point A to point B very quickly, um, then yeah, that's going to be a lot of turnovers. So I just don't think that he would fit well in the system that we actually have set up. It's basically a run first play action system, which brings me to my other point. Since we talking about quarterbacks and systems, um, the mysteriously convenient douchebag Aaron Rodgers um, is going to change all of that if he signs, which I highly doubt at this point. I think the window of opportunity is probably closed on that, so I really don't want to speak on it too much. Um, but you think that Aaron Rodgers is actually going to run the plays that Arthur Smith is calling? No, he's not. He's going if Arthur Smith fell out with Russell Wilson because he was adjusting and changing plays at the line of scrimmage, what the hell you think Aaron Rodgers is going to do when he gets up to the line of scrimmage? He is going to completely change the damn play. He's going to change the formation even if he feels like it. Um, he's going to have his own playbook. He's going to do things his own way. And then when things implode, which they will do, um, the coaching staff is not going to survive. And that includes Coach Tomlin. Coach Tomlin will not survive this if Aaron Rodgers is actually signed, and when this actually implodes, Coach Tomlin is going to be coaching somewhere else. Now, once Coach Tomlin leaves, I'm sure as soon as the Pittsburgh Steelers let him go, he's got another job lined up somewhere. So yeah, I just don't think that that would be good for the organization. Needless to say, and more importantly, the locker room won't survive something like that. The locker room will not survive something like that either. If you have a guy that's coming in here and turning everything on its ear, then I just don't see how that would actually work out, like at all. I just I don't think that that's gonna work. It's really not. Sorry about that, y'all. Once again, real life person, real situations. Okay, got people yelling across the house and all of that. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, I just don't think that. I don't think that either Shador Sanders nor Aaron Rodgers will be a good fit here, to be quite honest. Um, and there has been like a lot of talk about Jalen Milroe. He was actually invited to the draft. I don't know who's actually going to wind up drafting him first round. I certainly would hope that it would not be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that we would have um, a better amount of sense than that. Jalen Milroe is a very, very good athlete who happens to play quarterback, but as far as developing as an NFL quarterback, he's going to need some time. He's going to need at least 2 to 3 years, to be quite honest with you, to actually be serviceable. Okay, if you try to put him out there now, It's going to be one read and run, and that's going to be it. That is going to that is going to frustrate the hell out of DK Metcalf and George Pickens. That's just not going to work. So we wouldn't be able to pick him up in the first round, and then we have so many needs on the team. One of which is defensive tackle. This particular draft is chock full of good to great defensive tackles, along with a great resume or plethora, excuse me, a great plethora of running backs as well in this draft too. Now I don't think that we're going to draft a running back in the first round. We did that with Najee. Najee, who was a very consistent runner with the Pittsburgh Steelers, um, had moved on to the Los Angeles Chargers. So I don't think that we'll be doing that. Um, and then plus, you got quality running backs throughout the first 3 or 4 rounds. So there should not be any rush, no pun intended, to pick up a running back in the first round. I think that we should pick up a defensive tackle in the first round because um, even though there's pretty good depth, you want to get one of the best defensive tackles available in that particular round. You do not want to botch this up. Um, you don't want to miss out on someone that could actually help your defense become better because, quite honestly, we got ran on a lot at the later portion of the season. I mean, yeah, even the New York Giants ran pretty good against us, and that should not have happened at all. Um, so yeah, I think it would be in our best interest to try to get a defensive tackle to try to help the defense become a lot better than what they are as far as stopping the run. Um, I definitely, I definitely also wouldn't be mad if we picked up what's his name? I think it was Jade Barron, the cornerback from Texas. Um, I know it's a very wild swing, and then we do have depth at the defensive back position. But if we get a quality guy like that in the early rounds, I wouldn't be mad at all. More than likely, he's going to be a first round draft pick, but I wouldn't be mad at that at all either. But I think that we definitely need to try to pick up a defensive tackle as opposed to a quarterback in the first round. The depth's just not there at quarterback. Not first round, not first round at all, because you have obviously Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, and pretty much everybody else. Um, I don't think that the quarterback from Ohio State is a first round draft pick. I think you could probably pick him up in the third or fourth round, possibly, and still be okay. But I just don't. And since we don't have a second rounder at this point in time, I think we're gonna wind up trading back next week. Though we'll probably look for the Pittsburgh Steelers to try to draft, um, or excuse me, look for us to try to trade back to either get a second round pick or maybe two third round picks to try to help us out with that. But yeah, I don't really foresee us having to try to pick up someone in the first round that may not be immediately beneficial to our team as a quarterback. But those are just my thoughts, man. And man, look at how the time has actually flown by. It's almost 30 minutes. I have really enjoyed talking to everyone. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. For It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox. Please check out my brother's Coach 67 Sports TV. He has all kinds of shows that are on YouTube. Primarily, he airs his shows on Saturdays. He does have, or actually throughout the week. So look for him throughout the week hosting shows. He has the best Southern University, which is a HBCU content this side of the planet. I'm being honest with you. He is very good at what he does as far as Southern University content. He is the very best at it, in my humble opinion. Um, My other brother, excuse me, Jared O11 Green has a tremendous set of shows. One of which is a Southern Baller show that comes on Sundays, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard. He also has um, shows such as The Black Man's Perspective, which is a groundbreaking show. I highly recommend you check it out. That usually comes on YouTube, I think around 10 a.m. Saturdays on YouTube. So please check that out. Um, I know we have our general 78 Sports TV. He usually comes on around 10 a.m. weekdays on YouTube. He has he has informative and also hilarious content you should really check out. The same goes for all my LDBC brothers and sisters. Um, Special shouts out to the Queens of Boxing Talk. Um, they are truly some groundbreaking females that that report on the sport of boxing. Please check their shows out. Friday nights, usually around 8:30 p.m. Central Standard on Fridays. Sundays, it's usually around, I would say, 7 p.m. Central Standard. Both are on YouTube and all other social media platforms as well. Once again, this has been Brent Fox hosting It's Just Me. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.